Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and I'm here with Rick Wilkinson.
That's me.
That's you. You're a local pedal, microphone, rubber brick builder.
That is correct, yes. Inventor extraordinaire.
You hit me up because someone told you to go my way.
Yes.
Because you have a reverb pedal, and we're going to check it out. It looks really cool. You also have, what I understand is one drive pedal, but you can swap various components. It's a kit.
Yeah,
You can swap components and decide, what they're going to sound like. So we're going to check those pedals out. He's also got these. All the DIY guys out there probably already know what these are. If you don't, then you should be excited because they look really cool. They're like this brick silicone. I always mix it up. And it holds your various components for soldering, and it doesn't get hot and melt.
Doesn't suck the heat out.
It doesn't suck the heat out.
It doesn't leave a residue. It's got a suction base, so it doesn't nothing moves when you're using it. So
it's got a little hole to put everything in it, and a big slot to put a whole board in.
PC boards.
It looks really smart. Like I've barely ever built anything, but this looks really, really handy to me. So you've got a bunch of stuff, and you make ribbon mics and sell kits to make ribbon mics.
Yes, we're not even going to talk about that today.
He does a lot of stuff, and I was surprised to find out that you're local to me. The person that connected us was like, hey, this guy's local to you. And by local, it's like, I might be able to see your house from my house.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't even have to get on a freeway. It was all side streets to get here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
I'm on a canyon, and he's on the other side.
I'm on the other side, yeah.
That's wild. We've probably smelled each other's barbecue.
Yes.
From time to time.
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
So anyways, I've done my intro. Is there anything you want to say that I might have missed?
Nothing. Yeah, just surf guy, just like Ryan, and
how weird is it? Like, he lives across the street basically, and he's another surf rock guy who's making a reverb pedal. Like,
yeah. So I
started, how do we not know about each other? Like,
I don't know.
5-6 years ago.
I'm gonna blame COVID.
And we looking at on Facebook, we travel like in the same social circles and stuff. It's
NAMM
weird.
show, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Know all the surfy air guys, know all the surf musicians. Before we started, we were talking about who we knew and who recommended us and everything. So.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now we're best friends.
Nice to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you in person as well.
Exactly.
Well, let's turn stuff on and check them out. I'm excited.
All right.
I'm turn my amps on here.
What amps are we going through? All of them?
We're running the two Princeton's rig.
Excellent.
I have a little MIDI file that plays here with a picture of the two Princetons. It's a MIDI file of the Spin Doctor's Two Princes. The audience loves it.
All right.
Two Princetons sit behind us, baby. That's what I said now.
All right, this is why I don't do the video.
I got fuzzes and drives on over here. In a different reverb. We'll use the Jazzmaster. We'll find out if it's in tune. We do all this in real time.
Yes.
There's no prep on this channel. I'm honestly sitting here looking at the camera wondering how I'm going to fit the overhead shot in. Maybe I'll put it down here in front of us.
Yeah, just put it right
in
front of the Austin Mike's logo. Austin Mike's logo, right here.
I'm going to have to get creative. Things are going to get weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. You guys shouldn't worry about it.
I'm not worried. This is the moment when you speed up the video and you tune while the video is being sped up.
Yes. All right. I think we're in tune. Adjust the level a little bit here. That looks a little bit spicy. I think we're good.
Sounds good to me.
So should we just dive right into the reverb?
Sure. Do you know the special feature of this reverb?
I do.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
It's got that kind of like clicky.
Yeah, it's a built-in, right? So
it's a built-in.
Just like everything is built-in. Built-in makes the pans for Surfy Bear, right?
Right.
Built-in makes the pans for Fender. So everything's a built-in.
So it's not a spring in there though, right?
There's no spring.
There's no spring. It's a built-in brick.
It's a built-in brick, yes.
Gotcha.
Now, what I can tell you is that it's not the datasheet circuit. So if you follow the datasheet circuit to make a Belton brick reverb, you'll end up sounding like a Mosky, or you'll end up sounding like one of the other reverbs, right? There's not a lot of design going on in Asia. There's a lot of copying, right? So I spent 6 months dicking around with the design, and I'm actually tricking the brick into something that it's not designed to do.
Gotcha.
So we'll see if you can see that any difference between.
Like I can hear that kind of like delay bounce on the flutter, which is fine. It's a great sound. It's doing the Belton brick thing, and where it's like, it's not a digital pedal that is using up a ton of CPU and getting super hot, like processing to simulate a drip, but you're getting that kind of like Belton brick slap back, kind of clicky, delay stacked sort of sound to it.
It is a feature of the Belton brick.
Right.
And the chips that they use in their brick are the chips that everybody uses in their other pedals, right? So the brick just makes it easy to build yourself if you wanted to build this kit by yourself.
Right.
You don't have to solder all these 5 chips together.
And it's, there's a lot of pedals that I've tried over the years where I call out and I'm like, oh yeah, this is like Belton brick sound, and people will be like, oh, it's not really a Belton brick. I'm like, I'm saying it's like that sound. It's doing that thing. And there's pedals that do that sound really well and really dial in like that surf sort of tonality. And I can tell that that's what this is doing, is it's doing that very surf centered tonality. And then others, like you were mentioning, that are just kind of thrown together and they just use the components and you get what you get. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it can be very inconsistent.
About Surf Report and Chum, the bands that I was in the 90s and 2000s, you'll know that they were really aggressive, right? And so I wanted to get an aggressive tone, so there's some diode clipping that's built into this as well. So when you really hit it and you play Dick Dale and you hit all the low notes, you can get that crunch out of it that a tube spring reverb would emulate.
How do you feel about these settings? Do you think I should try something else?
You can try whatever you like.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play and you fiddle with the knobs.
Okay. About what the knobs do real quick. So dwell is actually the decay time. Is really the brick that I'm using has a decay time feature in it, so that's what I'm using on there. The mix is obviously the mix between the input and the output, and I have it slanted towards wet.
Right.
It doesn't really get dry until you're about 2 or 1. And then tone obviously is just a tone circuit, but it's before it even gets into the brick itself.
Gotcha.
So,
the tone is before the reverb.
Yes, the tone is the very first, just like an old Fender amp, right?
Right.
First tone, and then everything else is affected by what you're putting in there. So, yeah, I don't know what strings you're using. They look fairly heavy to me, but picking style and all that stuff is you'll get different sounds.
It sounds nice to me. It's doing the thing. I'd group, so far I'd group it together with other pedals that I think do that thing really well, like the Solid Gold Surf Rider, like the Topanga, and stuff like that. Pedals that are doing that built-in slap-backy, clicky sort of thing, but with a very surf-centered tonality.
Right. The intention here originally. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. One of the weird things about the Belton bricks is that if they're not designed right, they feed back. Have you ever had one of those that just starts to oscillate? I mean,
that sounds fun.
No, not fun. Not fun. And so by tricking the brick, I've made it so you can turn up past the design features, so you can get more. There's more. Like, you'll hear it here. There's more splash. There's more treble and tone. Because I've tricked the brick into thinking it's getting a signal.
The brick.
I've tricked the brick.
You need stickers or shirts that say that. Trick the brick.
I did. We'll talk about it in a second, but I did want to make shirts that have a picture of the reverb on the front, and then just the words "kick me" on the back. We'll talk about why that's important.
Let's try that. Let's try that.
go
I
ahead.
know that. I want to find out. I want to know how you do it. Okay.
Okay, so you have to wait till the light goes off.
Oh, okay.
So the light gets brighter when it.
So you have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Now, yeah. So tilt it up. So if you on the bottom, I have the feet placed a little bit different. So.
Oh, I have to wait till the light.
Yeah, till the light goes off. So if you
Can't follow
tilt it up like
instructions.
this. Yeah, there you go.
Ah. There's people who do that with their reverb units. Like what
Yeah,
I've got back there.
constantly.
Like
Yeah.
they put their foot on it while it's on stage and they tilt it up and then they're like. That's funny.
Yep, and it's not the same twice.
Really?
So, yeah, it's
That was gonna be my next question because I've got the Ocean's 11 by Electro Harmonics back there.
yeah, and that just makes a funny little.
It's just one noise that's the same every time.
Yep.
So I'm assuming there's samples.
They are.
How many are there?
There are 10, and they are randomly fed, but they won't feed the same sample twice or even 1 out of 10 times. So it runs through 10 samples, and then it starts over again in a different order.
That's clever.
So you could do it 10 times in a row, and it would never sound the same. And some of them are short, and some of them are crash, 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 crash. And just like a real unit, right?
Right.
So that's exactly what I wanted.
That's really cool.
It's a real reverb by a tank that I built in the 90s. It's just me crashing it. So I just sat in my garage and kicked my tank for half an hour.
So if someone velcros this to their board, it's over. Like they can't do the tilt thing, but they can still pound it hard enough.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to do it here.
Yeah. When you tilt it, it works the best.
Right.
Yeah. So in fact, the way it's the feet are on there, you can tilt it like this, and that's the easiest way. And then nothing happens when you push this. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Is there like an accelerometer in there or something that's making
there
that
is a
happen?
vibration sensor. Yes.
Okay.
So without giving everything away, there's a little spring in there.
If you want to know how it works for real, you have to buy one of the kits.
Yeah, just build one. Everything is revealed in the kit.
All right, I'm gonna play it a little bit. It sounds really nice.
You have it maxed out too. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to make it like this plate reverb or this hall reverb. I wanted this splash and then a fade, just like a tank. The mix just a little bit. And it's nothing special, right? It's a reverb, right?
You don't come on a YouTube channel and then say your own pedal is nothing special.
So no, I'm saying that. I'm saying that because it doesn't have a plate setting and a hall setting and a whatever. And I'm saying that because it doesn't have all these bells and whistles. It does one thing, just like that thing back there.
Right.
It's got 3 knobs on it, and that's all it does. But I tried to make it do it better than all the rest of them. Plus, it has that crash feature, which is super cool.
No, it's really cool. Right now I can feel in the force like people are going to buy one of these
Excellent.
right
No, that's
now.
fine. Yeah.
I can always kind of like tell people are going to buy these. I'm messing around with the pedal.
That's cool. The mix is the most powerful knob on there. So the more mix you have, the more tone you have, and the more dwell you have.
Sounds like it's good for a nice little splash. So you don't have to do what I do and max everything out and be irresponsible. That's a nice little splash.
Thank you. My intention was to use it right by your mic stand when you're playing. That way you could just kick it
Right.
if you needed to, and it turn it on and off. And when you need it and when you don't, it's not designed. I wasn't really thinking about putting on a pedal board.
Sure.
but
Well,
I know that's what most people do. But
Most surf rock guys, not most of them, but a lot of them are pretty simple with their rigs.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, I've already got a reverb pedal. Here it is. Here's my reverb pedal.
That's
you
it,
know.
that's it. That's exactly. In fact, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I know it takes 2 cords, one in and one out, but and then you'd need a power supply or a battery. But so It's a one-trick pony. I'm not gonna lie. That's all it does is surf.
But, you know, if you're going to be a one-trick pony, make sure it's a good trick, you know?
It's a good trick. It's a good trick.
Let's try hitting it with some of your dirt pedals here. Well, this is the same dirt pedal, but with different guts.
Yeah.
We'll start with the Claremont drive. My co-host and I on the podcast, Steve, since the beginning, we find ourselves drifting into geography talk, like local geography talk, and we're like, Are we doing this again? We're doing more geography talk. Excellent. And this is funny. The Claremont Drive. Yeah. It's a pretty major road here in San Diego.
Yeah. I'm a Claremonster. I grew up in Claremont.
A Claremonster. Yeah. I love it.
That's an actual overpass sign. You can go and find that on Google Maps.
I love it.
See it. Exit only, which is where the output goes. I thought that was clever also.
I'm assuming this is volume?
That is drive.
That's drive.
Yes, and that is volume. So this is everything almost at the very lowest of drive. This is
There it is.
It's not, again, this is more of a do-it-yourself, hey, let me get into this and let me change this resistor, or let me change this diode or this capacitor and see what happens. And my intention was, I designed this, or co-designed this with a professor over at San Diego City College, and we wanted something that was just more than, hey, build this pedal and it sounds like this when you're done. And that's it. We wanted, so in the kit you get a bunch of different resistors and a bunch of diodes and a bunch of chips. I got a bunch of 8-pin chips that you put in there. You can sample them and try different things. So,
that's fun.
Yeah, and so I was just telling you before we started that I did a workshop out of high school, and that it was 2 hours of building and then 2 hours of absolute cacophony with guitars and amps and drive and everything. It was awesome.
I want to go to that high school. I didn't do anything like that in high school. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like I went out of tune. What is this based on?
So, oh boy, what is it based on?
Yeah, is it a familiar circuit at all?
Yeah, so I stood on the shoulders of 1970s giants. It's very simple. It's a single op amp, dual channel op amp, and then diodes and capacitors to contour the sound.
Gotcha.
And then you can change those diodes and capacitors to LEDs or silicon or to glass diodes or whatever, and then you'll see the difference when you go to the checkerboard one. So
I want to check out the range of the drive.
Yeah, it's a fuzz pedal more than anything else.
Nice. I like that, kind of nice and lightly saturated, a little bit crunchy.
So this would be one that if you were a sort of a bluesy player or a 70s rock guy, you'd probably want to do it like this.
There we go. Now it's got some hair on it.
This is, what the pandemic has done to me is it's made me listen to my own playing, but watching somebody else play this is really interesting to me. So it's super fun.
Yeah, I mean, I get really insecure anytime I watch other people play, and I'm like, oh man, why am I even putting myself on video playing? But I think it's a thing of like people play different stuff than you. Yeah. It's like, I'd never think to play that. I must suck, It's
the imposter syndrome.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I got a lot of imposter syndrome around here, that's for sure.
Yeah, very mid-rangey tone on this.
I'm hearing the fuzz element you're talking about.
Yeah. So I think on this one I'm using 914 diodes, which is a glass diode, one of the first diodes that was actually made. Cat's whisker, if you're an engineer nerd, you know what that is. And then the next one I think has silicone 1N4004 diode, clipping diodes, and there's 2 stages of clipping actually. So there's clipping, and then it goes into a preamp, and then it goes into a clipping again. So you can dial in all that stuff and make it however you want. You could do what's it called, offset, where you use like 2 diodes in one direction and 1 diode in the other direction. Are you familiar with any of this?
I'm not.
No? Okay, so...
It sounds very exciting.
So all the old 1980s pedals, Super Overdrive and Tube Screamer, they used all these different diode configurations, and you can do that in this pedal. You can do whatever you want. That's the cool thing about it.
And it comes with all the things to experiment with.
Yep.
That's awesome. You guys often like there will be pedals that I demo that's like, oh, it's got a socket so you can change it out and experiment with it, but it doesn't come with any of this stuff.
No, this
So
one
you
comes
have to like hunt it down and like figure it out.
This one comes with 4 different op amps. And what I did, you're going to laugh. When I was designing this, I just Googled worst op amps for audio, right? Because I wanted a distortion pedal, right? So then I found the 4 that were easily accessible, that were the worst, and then I bought all of them, and now you can put them in the pedal.
That's brilliant. Because it's like
I don't want clean.
Right. Like if you're looking for the best one, it's going to be sparkling clean and like a complete, accurate representation of your signal. Guitarists don't want that. We want to destroy our signal.
Exactly, yeah. So the one from the Tube Screamer is in there, and the one from the Klon is in there, and then there's a couple others that are just horrible for clean audio, but they're great for overdrive. And you can actually tell the difference between chips when you're listening to it. Nice. So, and it's easy to swap in and out, a couple minutes to do it each one. So
sure. I'm going to play this a little bit more, then I'm going to hit the reverb with it, and then we'll move on to this one.
Okay.
You can get that fuzz element with it all the way up. When I play all right. It really does have a big like mid-range part.
Yes, yeah, very mid-rangey. Expect this to be on some professional's board, right?
You never know.
You never know. I would expect this to be the gateway drug to, oh my God, I can build a pedal.
Right.
That's exactly what we wanted when we were talking about this.
I like it. It's throaty. It's got this like fuzzy kind of buzz on
this one
on the top end of the gain there.
You can pop the resistors in and the diodes in and change it.
All right, here we go. Now with reverb. Sounds good with some dirt in it.
Not bad, yeah.
That sounds great.
Not bad.
All right, now we'll do a comparison. Let's do.
Yeah, so this one
similar settings.
Picks up about where this one leaves off. So
as far as like gain.
Yeah. So with this one all the way turned up is where this one's about all the way turned down. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just heads up.
We'll try that.
Try that.
Sounds like I'm out of tune already.
A little bit thinner.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the top range, it starts to fuzz. You'll hear it.
Thinner and brighter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check my.
Yeah. So again, learning about capacitors and filters in this pedal build, you can tailor the high end. You can tailor the distortion, the drive, the amount of clipping that happens, which is the distortion. It's all about doing it yourself and then realizing that's all there is.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you earlier, like I did, I sat down with Grant from Bigger Pedals. Mm-hmm. Oh, the kids are taking a bath. Awesome. I sat down with Grant from Bigger Pedals, and he guided me through building a pedal. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember where I was going with this, but it's easy. Like, it's not hard to actually put them together. I'm sure it's harder to, like, conceptualize circuits and, like, figure out what you actually need to do.
Right.
But, like, the actual assembly, like, if you've got a soldering iron, you can do it.
Yeah, well, I'll show you some the way my kits are made. They're just component locators. Put this component here and solder it, and then clip off the leads, and then put this component and it's circled on. I'll show you in a minute.
If you can build Legos, you can build a pedal. This is what it comes down
hot
to.
Legos, really hot Legos.
Hot Legos.
That's my next band.
Don't breathe that Lego smoke.
Guilty.
Build those hot Legos in a well-ventilated room, kids. All right. Brighter, bit more nasal.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, so this one has no filtering on it. So this one is it's a distortion. This one has some filtering on the distortion too. So if you didn't like the bright sound, just pop in one of those little capacitors right where it tells you to pop it in a socket.
Yeah.
Very edgy.
Yeah, that's a distortion. Like, this is an overdrive. The push is a little fuzzy. That's a distortion.
Yeah, so if you wanted to take off some of the high end, like I said, just pop in a capacitor and roll off that high end. And it's guided in the instructions which ones to put in, so, and where to put them.
The Reverb takes drives really nicely. Like, that was the problem I had with some of the early... Oh, the kids are done taking a bath. Thank goodness. It's so the bathtub is right above the garage here. It gets so loud when they turn on the bathtub. When I first started this channel, there were very few options for reverb pedals that did a surfy appropriate sound. And one of the ones that had recently come out was the Fender FRV1.
Yes.
Which was great in certain ways because it was the first one to really kind of like try to simulate that outboard drip. Yeah. But man, it filtered your signal so bad. Like, any drive you put before it just turned into this sloppy mush and just sounded like, there's like 15 tone blankets over it, sort of thing. And so that's something I always like to test. It's not really a traditional sort of rig to run a drive before a reverb pedal, but I'm a child of the 90s. I'm going to do it, Yeah. So it excites me when it shouldn't be a surprise, but it excites me when a reverb can actually handle having drive before it without sounding bad.
Oh, that's good. It wasn't my intention. My intention was reverb and then amp has the drive.
Right,
so
right.
You can do whatever you like.
Yeah.
It's whatever floats your boat.
That sounds great.
So, press a little bit there. Yeah. These two were the examples for my pedal building class. This is what you can do on the low end, and this is how distorted you can make it on the high end. That was my examples, and then the kids who built them were like, I want something right in the middle, and so they picked the capacitors and the resistors and the
nice.
diodes.
And it's all sockets, so you can just swap.
All sockets, yep.
All sockets.
Yep. I mean, there's a circuit board for the required parts, and then the rest of the parts that you can change are socketed.
I'm gonna stack them now.
Okay.
Let's get dangerous. Pretty good.
Not bad.
It all sounds great, man.
Thank you. It's all it's whatever you want, man. That's the whole point of those two pedals right there.
Let's open up the back of one of these
Sure.
real quick. I want to see those sockets.
Sure.
Do I have a screwdriver over there?
I don't see one.
Maybe not. We'll mute this. I'll go grab a screwdriver.
All right.
I want to take a peek.
Sure. I don't remember what the inside of this looks like.
We're about to find out. Can you edit that out, please?
Oh, there's what's in there, right?
Yeah.
Look, I got notes, and I forgot what's in this one. This one's just got the Vans.
That's fun. I love that. That's too funny. It's a checkerboard on the top, and then it's the Vans bottom. Okay.
Austin Drive.
You're clever.
I thought it was cool.
It is cool. That's really cool.
It's something that nobody else would ever see, but you know it's there.
I love that so much. It's like, it's stupid and smart at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
So the other cool thing about these kits is that it has directions and places to go to. You can make your own graphics. It comes with a template, and you can draw out your graphics and then print them onto the sticker paper.
Nice.
Or you can get the standard graphics from me. But that's the intention. The intention was to introduce people into building their own pedals.
I could see that starting a trend. When other builders see this in this video, they're gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna put like a Doc Martin tread on the bottom of my
something.
thing. Yeah.
Right.
It's smart.
You know what would be funny is just fake Velcro on the bottom.
A sticker of Velcro. Oh my gosh. There it is. Yeah, it's a bunch of sockets.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I don't even know what chip I have in there. I can't remember.
Oh, you got.
Oh yeah, that
the
4X
answer
914. So it's got 4 of the 914 diodes, 1960s type diode.
So that's the IC, right?
That's correct. That's the amplifier. The
I
audio
know a
amplifier.
little bit. I know what an IC is.
Yep.
But then you've got your resistors and diodes in here. I don't know which is which.
They're just gain stages, right? There's 2 gain stages, and one of them drives the first gain stage on this chip, and the other side drives the second stage. And so, if you look at the instructions, it'll tell you where to put the diodes.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow, this one's actually missing one. So.
Uh-oh.
That's all right.
Maybe there's space to put one in there.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting.
So you've got this left bank here labeled A, B, C through H.
Yep.
And then it goes into the second bank here and then goes into the IC.
Yeah, so this is actually, now I remember.
Or is it going the other way?
Well, actually, so maybe you edit this part out, I don't know.
Oh, it's fine.
This is one of my early revisions that didn't work, and this socket should actually be over here. So when I designed the circuit board, I swapped them by accident. So these are the drive. This one and that one are the drive, and this one is the gain. It's a little weird.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, this is a backwards board that I just made. I mean, everything sounds the same. It's just laid out a little differently. So
that's super cool, man.
We dropped a diode.
Oh, did we?
Diode dropped.
Did it fall out?
That's
Is that the missing one?
It could be the missing one. I can't see it. I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, let me just put this.
We'll put it in there and let's see if
what happens.
if the sound changes now.
I gotta get my glasses. Excuse me for a second. This is interesting. This is a first revision board or second revision board. All right, so maybe you know about diodes. They should be facing the opposite way for clipping. They clipped off the top of the signal on one side and clip off the bottom of the signal on the other side. So that's what I've done. Just put that in there. This might actually sound different now.
Yeah, let's put it back together and see what happens. I mean, we're real life example of messing around with this circuit, right?
That's right. Again, when you realize that you have the power to change something, it makes you want to
We're getting inspirational now.
try. Yeah, it makes you want to try. I mean, that's my day job as a technical trainer, right? I teach adults how to do stuff, but I love teaching adults how to do stuff that they've never done before. They're like, they can build stuff, or they can solder things, or they can figure out what diode or what capacitor does what, and then that opens up that whole new window to them.
That's fun that you're doing these kit builds and you're coming from a teaching profession.
Yes.
Like that's a good combination.
Yeah, it helps. Patience with high school students is a thing, right? So knowing how to teach the class and how to set the class out and what tools to bring and all that stuff from my career really helps out during a workshop.
All right. We'll see if this sounds noticeably different to us now compared to our memory of it from 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, just rewind a little bit.
Right.
To like 8 minutes in, or however long it was.
I remember it sounding pretty mid-focused, mid-humpy, kind of dark, and it had that kind of fuzz on the top of the drive with it all the way up. It sounds brighter.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think it's got a little bit more high end
So
going
maybe
on
that diode, I put it in and out, took it in and out too much, and it fell out. And now it's back in.
Right.
And it sounds a little different.
I'll bring in a previous clip and compare it to that.
exactly the same.
It could be. It's really hard to know sometimes, if you're tripping or not.
Yeah. One of the things that's in the instructions is when you get a sound that you like, put some silicone or goop on it, so that the stuff doesn't fall out.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to remember, like, if it sounds very different.
Your sound memory is not that. Not on par.
It sounds like there's a little bit more high end to it.
Could be.
But there might not be.
I'm going to be interested to watch this video back too.
Well, this is all really cool. I think people are going to be excited about this. You want me to put a link to your Reverb store or something else?
Just put austinmics.com. You can buy all this stuff off of austinmics.com.
There you go. So you can buy the Reverb. You can buy it in kit version.
Yep. Or you can have me build it for you. It just costs a little more.
Yeah.
Because it takes me an hour and a half to build them. So.
And then you've got the drive, and then you've got these builder bricks here, which honestly, they look awesome. Like,
yeah.
These look really smart to me.
They were the mother of... Invention is the mother of necessity, right? So I was building cables for all my friends, and I got tired of smashing them in vice grips and putting them in, pan of vices and rolling around on the table I was trying to solder them. And I'm like, what could I do to stop that? And
there's all the small builders out there. Like, there's all the tools that you can get. Like, there's the big trays you can get for populating, like, 15 boards at a time. You can flip it and everything like that.
Yep.
But most, like, DIY builders, like, doing stuff at home, they're sitting there with the little alligator clamps and the thing. And it's
tips
like...
over.
Yeah, like this... Just this little slot right here to put the whole PCB in, like, that looks smart to me. Like, yes, that's smart.
Yeah,
you can just put it in there and
the other
solder
cool
it up.
I don't know if we're going to be able to see this, but I'm just have a pen right here. I'm just going to find a hole, right? You can stick it in there, and then you can push down. You don't have to hold it. You can push down. Where on one of those alligator clip things, it would just fall over, right?
Right.
So, and
because it's forgiving.
Yeah, or you can wherever you push, or you can tilt it up on its other edge. It's got a suction base, so it's not. It's not moving anywhere. It does have
a suction base.
Yeah, it's not moving anywhere. Yeah, it's a pretty good suction when you get right down to it.
Right.
Yeah,
I have to lick it. Oh, that one got the suction.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So it's sticky rubber. It's not going to go anywhere. That's smart. Smart designs, man.
Thanks. Again, I had to do something.
Do you make these yourself? Like, you mold them?
I have, yeah. So most of my things for Austin Mics is try and stay local. So I have a job shop that makes them, local job shop that makes them. I manufacture the prototypes, and then I send them to the job shop, and they make them for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Go check out the links. Buy a bunch of stuff. Buy it all up, and so that he completely runs out of stuff and has to close up shop and I got overwhelmed by orders and now I'm out of business.
I don't want to do that. I've heard that story.
Buy stuff as it becomes available. Don't do pre-order. That's my tip for small builders. Yeah. The moment you get into pre-order, that's when you get yourself in trouble and you can never catch up.
I will take that advice.
Yeah. So buy stuff when it's available. Anyways, thanks for coming over. Thanks for coming across the canyon and hanging out. I might have to call you in the future to be, a local expert on something.
Yeah, we'll do a microphone shootout or something.
Yeah, microphones would be fun. Yeah. Like you could put an amp up on a stand and you could show like, your mics on an amp and a bunch of different mics on the amp. We wouldn't be able to hear what they sound like until post, but that's part of the fun.
That's correct, yeah. But again, you can build microphones too, not just pedals, not just silicone stuff, but
you can build ribbon mics.
Yes, you can.
All right, bye everyone.
See ya.
Stay grounded.